There are a number of types of timers that you can use when you're cooking. This is a large number one, and I'm just going to turn it on for you. In order to use this one, you have to turn it all the way around and then back to whatever number you want. And let's hear it ring. I think that's the long ring timer. We also have a talking timer. And there are Braille timers also. We don't have one right now in the store. If you already have a timer and you're losing your sight, you can use the timer you have. This is just a regular timer, which I had when I could see, and I still use it. And what I do is I know it's like the face of a clock. So when the arrow is pointing up, that's 12 o'clock. If I want 15 minutes, I turn it to about the 3 position, and that will be 15 minutes. When I turn it down to 6 o'clock on a clock face, that's 30 minutes. Around to 9 would be 45, and back up to 12 would be 1 hour. I could also, if I had a little more question about my ability to do that, I could use the bump-on dots and put a dot in each one of the significant numbers, 3, 6, 9, and back up at 12. And if I have something that needs to go 20 minutes, I just advance it a little bit between the 6 and the 3 o'clock to get my 20 minutes. Bump-on or locator dots are useful for marking surfaces of different appliances, like the stove, washer, dryer, microwave, or your thermostat. And they come in a variety of colors and a couple of different sizes. Here I have the black ones. They also come in white. Here are clear ones. And there are also day glow orange ones. Another marking tool is the dimensional marker. It's like a paint, so it comes out as a liquid and you can mark a surface with it. If you'll notice on our stove here, the left-hand dial, we have a dot, one of the bump-on dots at the top to indicate off, and there's a dimensional marker indicator here on the top of it to line that up with off, or around to the medium or the medium low, so I can feel those and line up the dial to get the temperature that I want. On this oven dial, we also have a dot at the top of it to indicate where off is, and a dot at 350, which is the most used temperature for recipes. And now I'm going to put a pan of smashed potatoes into my preheated oven. And because I don't want to touch the rack or anything, there are elf gloves which you can purchase. The store doesn't have these, but I find them really nice because it is a glove, so you have the ability to feel with all of your fingers. What the store does have is some of the oven mitts. So I'm going to open the door here and put my pan in. I'm going to hang on carefully so I don't touch the rack. Slide it in and shut the door. All right, my potatoes are done, so I'm going to take them out of the oven, and I want to do that so I'm not getting burned. So I'm going to open the door here, and I'm going to use the oven rack push-pull to get them out safely so I'm not touching the rack. So I stick that in, it has the little hook on it. I'm going to pull the rack out a little bit. Put on my oven mitt so I don't get burnt. And grab my pan, put it on the stove, oops, shut the door. And now I have a double spatula, and I'm going to use that to get my potatoes off of the pan and onto the plate. And I can feel with my spatula, just kind of by patting it, where the potatoes are versus the pan. And you'll notice I'm using a pan with a rim on it so that I'm not pushing them off of a cookie sheet that doesn't have a rim. Put them on the plate. There we go. Pouring and measuring liquids can be a little tricky for those of us who are blind or have low vision. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways here of doing that. If I were going to be measuring some milk and a small amount, say a tablespoon for some recipe, what I do is pour some into a small container. Cover on so I don't spill. And then dip my spoon into that to get the amount I need, and then pour it into the bowl. Also, another way of telling when a container is full when you're pouring liquid is a liquid level indicator. It's a small device, as you can see, with a battery in it and 2 prongs, and you put the prongs over the side of the container that you're going to be pouring into, and then you pour your liquid. I'm going to start with what I've already put in a small cup, and when the liquid reaches the prongs, you'll hear it buzz, and that's an indication that the container is almost full and you want to stop pouring. This is the Vox 3000 talking scale. It comes with a battery installed, and it has 4 buttons. The first button turns it on and off. There's a button also to turn it off. There's a button to change from weighing ounces to grams. And the 4th button is the tare button, which you can set to 0 so that when you start measuring, it will be measuring just the item that you're putting into it. So I'm going to press the on button. You will hear her say, "Hello, I'm ready."
Hello.
She does.
I'm ready.
There she goes. It has a little platform.
1.3